she's dead. What are you talking about? I was just going to meet her and...
6, 5.
I'll meet you later by the fountain, okay?
2, 1. Ready or not, here I come.
Wow, you suck at this game.
Come out! I don't want to play this game anymore.
You always wanted to be a philosophy student, especially the cultural stuff like Indian epistemology. You always made me listen to your tangents.
It's fascinating, really. Epistemology, that is. A whole study devoted to knowledge and justified beliefs. And here's the main elements: necessary conditions of knowledge, its sources, its structure, and most importantly, its limits. After all, you can never truly know everything. Hey, are you even listening?
I never gave anything of what you told me a thought, but I found some of your old TOK textbooks when your parents asked me to clean your bedroom out. If I believe in this, can I be happy again? Because the knowledge of ultimate reality has a liberating effect, right? I'll be free from all my suffering. You always said Indian philosophy believed in the cycle of rebirth. So will your soul continue to return to earth over and over again until you reach a pure life? Or did you reach it already? Which is really what Indian philosophy is about, isn't it? Life, death, and rebirth end with purification. Will I be able to return again and again? And if so, can we be friends again in our next lives? The end is the beginning of all things. Suppressed and hidden, awaiting to be released through the rhythm of pain and pleasure.
Jiddu Krishnamurti. You know, he was one of my favorite Indian philosophers. Do you know what the quote means?
What?
It's all about samsara. In Indian philosophies, the journey was all about going through many different lives and many different forms. Death was only the beginning of another one.
Figures. I always knew I had a few screws loose, but hey, I didn't think ghosts would be visiting me so quickly.
I'm not a ghost. I'm clearly a figment of your imagination.
I'm not creative enough to do that.
Hallucination, then. You wanted to see if Indian philosophy and epistemology could fulfill your wishes. So listen. The errors of your previous lives led to purification, also known as nirvana or moksha. However, the only way to reach it is through obtaining valid knowledge of the external world and its relationship with the self and mind. This is the theory behind Indian epistemology. Here, take a look at this.
Indian epistemology, or the theory of knowledge, attempts to provide a rational basis for everyday experience. On the subject of cognition, it attempts to search for the essence of things. This is the key to gaining knowledge. In this sense, the concern with epistemology in Indian philosophy may be said to represent a philosophy of being and knowing, where the subject-object distinction regarding knowledge of the subject breaks down.
Keep reading.
Indian philosophy is divided into 6 orthodox branches or schools of thought, known as darshanas: yoga, which was based on practical methods for direct experience; Sankhya, based on framework of manifestation; Vedanta, based on contemplative self-inquiry; Vaisheshika, based on physical sciences; Nyaya, based on reasoning; and Mimamsa, based on freedom through action.
Indian epistemology is nothing like you learned about Western epistemology. Unlike the Western beliefs in perception and reason, Indian epistemology have 6 dominant knowledge sources: perception, inference, verbal testimony, comparison, presupposition, and non-apprehension. However, these knowledge sources are not believed in by all the schools of thought. There are 2 types, or levels, of knowledge:
Unreflective knowledge, prama, and certified knowledge, niraya. Unreflective knowledge is the result of a subject based on perception. Certified knowledge, on the other hand, is knowledge that arises as a consequence of the prama. Rather, It is the knowledge of the justification. One confirms their unreflective knowledge in turn by argument and or identification of the source of the unreflective knowledge.
For example, I might have unreflective knowledge that you work at McDonald's.
Gee, thanks.
Maybe I've seen you making a burger in the McDonald's kitchen, for example, even though I am not aware if it is true or not. I might wonder whether I saw you working there or only heard it from someone else. This is unreflective knowledge. It is only after I have determined the source of my knowledge that you work at McDonald's. In this case, I'd have realized it is my perception that is my justification. Then it becomes certified knowledge, as long as there are no reasons to think that my perception or belief is mistaken. In that case, certification can be more difficult to obtain. Process of certification might include arguments for that claim that you work there, or claims again.
Okay, tell me where the rest of your notes are. I'm going to learn all the schools of thoughts. I'm going to complete samsara, so just tell me what I have to do. Asceticism, a lifestyle characterized by abstinence from various worldly pleasures to eliminate distractions from spiritual practice or understanding. In regards to Indian epistemology, it becomes a practice that can produce knowledge. It is the pramana, the means of obtaining the knowledge. I need to live a life of austerity and self-discipline. The practice of restriction in regard to contact with human beings culminated in solitary confinement in wildernesses, cliffs, frontier areas of the desert, and mountains. To describe the nature of the external world and its relationship to the individual, I must live it.
Go spend time with friends. Watch a movie. Study actual subjects like literature or chemistry. You should be out living your life, not sitting around in a forest all day.
I am living my life. I'm living my life with you.
I don't exist anymore.
What are you talking about? I see you. I feel you. I believe you're here, so clearly you are. One of the most important sources of knowledge in Western epistemology is sensory experience. You're the one that said the Pramana theorists in India had a version of the Western empirical tradition, and you were the one who said that Udayatthikara had stated that
We emphasize perception for all pramanas in some way or another precedes sensory perception. I know I said that. There can be no conception without perception.
my perception is telling me that you're here, and this is my knowledge.
The pramana perception is much more than that. Schools of thought also say that the perceiver supplies the concept from memory rather than perceiving it directly. Here, take this chick for example. The perception of this chick comes directly from your memory and not from what you're seeing right now, because everything that you see is from memory, right? So, say the first time you see it, that's what we call in the raw, but now everything that you see is no longer raw anymore because it's in your mind. Everything you see about me is just a previous perception of me. I'm nothing more than a memory. Hey, are you even listening?
Look, I'm confident enough in myself to admit that I'm insane. I don't care, just as long as I get to keep my best friend.
You're not any closer to samsara than yesterday, or the day before that, or the day before that. Just stop it.
Look, I don't care if Indian epistemology doesn't work for me. Okay, I'll find something else. I know you liked Chinese epistemology too, so I'll find something to make me understand.